All right. In 5, 4.
Done. We are live.
Done and done.
Excellent. All right,
let
gentlemen.
me turn off the. Let me turn off the fan.
Oh,
Sorry.
This guy, man. What is this? Amateur hour?
Uh,
Jeez.
he just wants
Oh,
to
my
show off the new stadium.
Yeah. Prima donna. Hey, Mariah, can we start tonight? We are Guys in Shorts. If there was anything going on in sports, entertainment, and pop culture, this would be the podcast to listen to every week. Do you guys remember the good old days when we actually had stuff to talk about?
Yes.
It seems like an eternity ago.
Not only that, but sitting in the studio with you guys.
Yeah.
That's what I missed.
Totally different getting drunk by yourself.
Oh yeah, it sucks. It just sucks.
I feel like this is kind of the new norm. I've done several of these virtual hangout things, and you drink. It's not the same, but it imagine without this, I feel like we'd feel much more separated.
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you listening, feel free to check out YouTube because we also have the streamed version of this that we'll have up on our YouTube channel. And of course, if you like listening, by all means, keep listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. And we're going to keep this one short because truthfully, there's not a lot to talk about other than coronavirus, and we're sick about talking about that.
Nobody wants to hear about that.
You can hear about that literally everywhere else. So, so we're not doing it. Nope. But yeah, let's just jump right into it, shall we? We'll get to the topics when we get to them. I'm Jeff Wilson, and that is Victor Costello.
You guys, I know the people on the podcast can't see this, but if they go on the YouTube channel, they will. If you see anybody behind me, just nod your head. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Run for the hills. Run for the hills. Victor's doomed. And Darren Besa.
If you guys see this on YouTube, you'll see that I had so much time on this stupid coronavirus that I built myself a starship.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
It's
I'm
pretty
on the
good,
bridge
too,
of my
Dan.
own
got the
Star
money.
Trek.
Right, yeah. Must be nice to have Besa, buddy. And the one and only Mr. Ben Garcia.
Hoopty hoo.
Yes, I see you have the Raiders Stadium on your virtual background.
I'm representing, homie. Representing. That's right.
Nice.
Well
nice.
done, sir.
You know what? It is a good-looking stadium.
It's beautiful.
I don't like
It's
to
where
give
the
the Raiders
Super Bowl
credit.
will go
but-
through in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with Jeff. It is a great looking stadium, and it's coming along pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think even more testament to it is in Vegas, you have to have a building that makes a statement to not just be white noise in that town.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you drive in, the location that it's at, across the freeway from the Strip, and it's like right there, and it's just this huge, massive, like black, bold stadium. It says something about it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait
Well,
for
sorry,
the play on
Jeff.
the
It doesn't have any
field.
waterfalls.
No waterfalls.
Oh,
what the heck?
jeez.
Oh,
No
forget it.
waterfalls at this stadium.
I'm out. Ben, are you excited to go to Vegas to see it?
I'm afraid of people, so maybe with COVID, we'll go in 2021.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think about that. So Ben hates Vegas, but he agreed that he would go to the inaugural season when the Raiders play in Vegas, and we would make
That's
a
if they
weekend
allow-
of it.
yeah,
Although
that's if
Ben
they allow
said
people.
I'll leave at 5 in the morning on Sunday, and I'll
On
go
Sunday.
home at like 5 in the morning on Monday. But oh,
No,
now
I'm
that's
looking forward to
probably
it.
off. Now that's
Yeah.
probably off the table this season, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going when I actually will catch a game live. To be honest with you, I've been to Laker games, I've been to Dodger games, I've been to USC football games. I've done a lot of live events. I have never been to a Raiders game because
Wow.
they left Los
wow.
Angeles before I was really old enough to buy my own tickets. And then who the hell's going to go to Oakland for a weekend, right?
Yeah,
I guess I could have
not
gone
the
down
best
to like San
destination.
Diego or something like that, but I just haven't. So this will be my first Raider game live when I go out there. So I'm really, really excited about it.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I better be invited.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't go without you.
Yeah. All
You're
right.
the one dragging him there.
Oh, yes. In. Done.
No.
Done.
No, I am
I
not
feel
driving
like we
with
should
Jeff.
fly Ben out. We should fly Ben out. Trust me, it's worth. We'll all chip in for
Oh,
his
yeah,
ticket.
totally.
It's
Yeah.
worth it so that he doesn't
Totally
have
worth
the
it.
attitude when he gets there. Screw traffic. It's the worst.
Well, but that's the thing, Jeff, is that I'm in a position now where I can take vacation and I can drive during an odd hour. I can take my car and open it up in the open highway and
That's
go
true.
90 miles an hour. So
Oh, yes.
I'm actually looking forward to doing the drive. I just need to figure out when I can go and when I can come back where I won't be on the road with other people.
I think you got COVID. I don't even know you anymore. You've changed. It's changed you. Did he say I'm looking forward to the drive to Vegas?
That
Yeah.
does sound weird.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming from me, it sounds very weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of things coming from Ben, very weird. On our last episode, by the way, we took a week off just because literally there was nothing to talk about and we couldn't bring ourselves to do it. But on our last episode, Ben mentioned that he was going to do a little Pornhub research for us to find out
Yes.
pricing
For science.
for science. And while this is strange, Ben, what did you come up with?
Okay, so last week when we were talking about it, I mentioned that I don't think that it would have been worth getting a subscription for what you get for any more than between $4.99 and $5.99 a month, and so that's what I set my price at. Do you guys recall what you said that it would be?
I mentioned it was going to be $9.99.
Okay, and I think everyone else agreed, right? Vic?
I
Yeah.
think we were
yeah.
right around the ballpark.
Yeah.
of that,
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked it up. It is $9.99 a month. However,
Oh!
if you decide to do a one-time payment, they will bill you at $7.99 a month, or for the year, it's $95.88.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
I feel like that's kind of the going rate for a lot of that stuff.
It's
these
a little
days.
too rich for my blood, but for those people that need it as a release, I guess it's worth it.
There you go.
Out of curiosity, did you happen to see what you get out of that $9.99? Do you get to follow specific people or
Well, we talked about it last
that?
week. It was
You mentioned their private.
you
sessions
get to watch videos above 720p in quality. You
Okay.
get to watch their premium videos that regular subscribers don't allow them to watch. You're able to download certain movies. You're able to bookmark certain movies. Or clips, I guess they're not movies. So again, for me, it's not worth it. But if you're a little hard up, $9.99, go to Pornhub.
Hey-o.
One way to put it.
Are you getting any kickback for them? I feel like you're getting a discount on a membership for all the plug that you're. Did you set base up to ask you that question?
No, I didn't. I know that he's curious because
Yeah.
he hasn't got himself to actually subscribe.
Yeah. Living
Next week you'll be
vicariously
sporting a
through
Pornhub T-shirt.
Yeah.
There you go. Good stuff. Speaking of Pornhub, I guess it's not really a transition, but I feel like when you think of that, you could make the jump to Rob Gronkowski. Gronk,
interesting.
That's a stretch.
of
Yeah.
retirement
Yeah.
to head down to Tampa Bay and play with his boy Tom Brady. Wow,
I'm
I
excited.
feel like it's funny because I feel like people were kind of saying this as a joke a few weeks ago. Like, what if Gronk comes out of retirement and goes down there and plays? And it actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well,
Now-
I think what makes it even more crazy was that the Patriots still had rights to him. That they still have him under contract. So, they easily could have said, no, if you come back, you're going to play for us. But the fact that he was able to convince the Patriots to not only trade him, but to trade him to the team that he wanted to go to. Now, it might make sense for the Patriots because they don't see the Buccaneers on their schedule. I haven't looked at the Patriots schedule. I don't know, but I'm assuming because it's an NFC team, there's a good possibility that they don't see them. So it isn't going to hurt them in the long run. So maybe it was an easy decision to make, and maybe it's a show to other free agents that like, hey, if you're not happy here, we'll send you where we want to go. Maybe it's just goodwill to the players that potentially could go to the Patriots. But yeah, I mean, Jeff, when I initially heard it, I was like, there's no way. I saw that he got traded, but I was like, he's not going to come out of retirement. Maybe this was just on paper to make room for another contract player or something like that. And then like later on that day, I heard not only did he get traded, but he's coming out of retirement. I was like, wow, that's pretty special. And I'm going to go on record right now to say that if the Raiders don't win the Super Bowl, I want to see Tampa Bay win it.
Wait, you want to see Tampa Bay win it, or you think that they'll win it?
If the Raiders don't win it, I want to see Tampa Bay do it. I don't know if they're going to be good enough to actually win in that NFC. The NFC is a very, very tough division right now. And so I think offensively with those two guys and then Bruce Arians, who's known for his offensive coaching, I think that team's going to score a lot of points. I don't think that there's any doubt in any football fans' minds that they're going to be a prolific offense. But to win the whole thing, you have to have a good defense. And I think that's I don't know what their defenses looks like now. The last time I remember watching a Tampa Bay game, it was when John Gruden was still their coach, and they were still using Tony Dungy's defense. So, I haven't paid much attention to Tampa Bay because nobody knows, or everyone knows that they're not going to go anywhere. So why watch their games? But I think they're going to be an interesting watch. I think a lot of television channels are going to try to pick up those games because I think people are going to have an interest in watching. So I think it's good for the NFL. I think it's good for Tampa Bay. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I also think that it's good for the Patriots. I think that, it was time to move on from Brady. So I think good on them. And, bringing Gronk back without Brady, it wouldn't have been the same. I don't think Gronk would have come back without Brady. And so, to be honest with you, I think the Patriots still have a very winnable division. When you look at the other teams, the other three teams in their division, I still think that they're going to be a worse team, but I think that they could still win the division and make the playoffs. So I think it's good for everybody. And if Belichick has, 1 year to groom, these new up-and-comers and maybe a draft to get his next quarterback, in 1 or 2 or 3 years, maybe the Patriots are back, making noise in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I actually saw a couple of articles that kind of point, well, one of them pretty much straight out said that Belichick did not want Gronk back.
And that makes sense because they don't have personalities that really jive.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you saw Gronk on, I don't know if he was on ESPN or Fox Sports. He was on some show today, and he was talking about, it was either 2 or 3 years ago, that he actually had gotten traded to the Detroit Lions. And when he found out that he literally had been already traded, he called up, I believe he said he called up the Lions and told them, I don't know how I'm going to come play with you guys because I just retired. And so when when that happened, the Detroit pulled out of the trade, and that's how he stayed with the Patriots. So Belichick has been trying to get rid of him for a while.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna change this and turn it on me here. I can't wait.
What?
I can't wait until I have enough money. I have enough money in the bank that when work asks me to do a certain project, I look at him with a straight face and go, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do that." Like, I can't wait to get to that point.
Sorry, I just
totally
retired. You must not have heard. I just retired.
No, it's not even saying you're going to retire. It's just telling them straight up, no, I'm not going to do it. And then let them tell you, well, either you do it or we're going to let you go. If you're really good at what you do, they probably won't give you that ultimatum. But to be able to just tell them, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, I can't wait to actually do something like that.
You don't need that much money. Yeah, you just need to be that good. I mean, look at Eli Manning when the Chargers tried to draft him.
Well, to be honest with you, in my line of work, they can replace me. So I'm not, like, for me, I have to have enough money.
Oh, come on,
maybe if
Dan.
I was a professional athlete, I could do that. But no, I need to have the money in the bank to be able to know that I can retire.
You need more confidence.
And when I do, I'm going to burn that motherfucking bridge.
Burn it quickly, too.
Well, let me ask you this, because my mind goes to, so Brady essentially, and we don't know what went on behind the scenes. So there's some speculation here, but let's pretend like we know what we know and whatever. Brady gets out of New England and doesn't really, as far as we know, wait for a deal. Like he kind of said, I'm not playing for the Patriots anymore. I'm a free agent, and goes down to Tampa Bay. Now Gronk suddenly, like Brady was in Brady was still playing last year. Gronk could have played last year or kept
Right.
playing.
In fact, the Patriots wanted him to come back for the playoff run, if you remember.
Right. But now it's like, okay, Brady's away from New England. Now I want to go play with Brady. So that says that the two of them, are obviously tight and on the same page. And that means Belichick's out of the picture. Do we think that maybe there's some drama or animosity that the Patriots are just so good at keeping that stuff under wraps we don't know about?
Maybe, but I read an article today, actually, where it was a couple of months ago before Brady had made his decision. He had gone down to meet with Gronkowski, and I actually think it was in Florida. And it was to just throw the ball around. And, I'm sure Gronk probably ran a couple of routes, and it was just two guys getting together. And as Gronkowski tells the story, he told Brady at that point, he says, hey, listen, I've got a lot of vested interest in where you end up playing. And, there's a possibility that I might come out of retirement or something to that effect. And then later on, he goes to say that, if Brady had re-signed with the Patriots, more than likely he was going to re-sign with the Patriots. Like he wanted to follow Brady. What he said was when he retired, his body was broken down. And if you remember the last couple of seasons, remember every playoff run, we were wondering, hey, you got to sit Gronkowski because you want to save him for the playoffs. So he said that it got to a point physically where he was just so tired of rehabbing his body that he just didn't have the will and determination to do it again. So that's why he retired. So now he's been away from the game long enough. And so he talks about like towards the end of last season, he starts to feel that his body was getting healthy again. That's when the thought of missing football and wanting to come back actually came about. And so he addresses his weight. Because if you remember right after he retired, he dropped a bunch of weight and they put pictures out. And he said that he didn't really drop that much weight. He said, I think he got down to like 250. And he said his normal playing weight was about 265. So he says he's got to put on about 15 pounds of muscle, which he figures he can do pretty quickly. But the underlying reason why he chose to retire in the first place was more his body, and it had less to do with the Patriots. And I think that him going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers isn't an indictment on the Patriots. I just think it was that he wanted to follow Brady.
Yeah. Makes sense. Any way you slice it, though, it is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. It could also be, all of that for sure, but he wanted to retire and become an action movie star.
He was in
what was all the stuff
WWE.
he said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. He in fact, I think his first outing was when the WWE did SmackDown or something without any fans.
Oh, well, that's not exciting.
It wasn't
That's a
exciting.
bummer. Yeah, that's got to be anticlimactic.
It really does. Could you imagine like doing a body slam and then not getting the feedback from the crowd with the cheering?
Yeah, no cheers, no nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like you just got your
Sucks.
ass kicked for no reason,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In quotes, yeah, like ass kicked. Well, good luck to Tampa Bay. I do agree they'll be exciting to watch and definitely
be a great team.
a good NFL storyline as we know how much they love. Speaking of exciting storylines, you guys watched the Jordan documentary on ESPN like literally everyone else on the planet?
Not yet. I'm recording them.
Yeah.
I honestly, I got used to the Netflix way of watching things. And I purposely, like even with network television and other stuff, there's a show, I think I've mentioned it before, Blacklist, that I watched that's on NBC. And I think this year they've got 20 episodes. I literally haven't watched a single one. I've been just letting them record.
Wow.
And then during the summertime, I'm going to sit down and watch them for 24 straight days or whatever it is. So I'm doing the same thing with Jordan.
gonna
So
binge
every
it.
time you bring it up for the next week, I'm not going to have said I've watched it.
How many episodes are there? Is it?
There's going to be a total
I
of
think
4.
it's 8. Oh,
Is it
4?
4?
Oh, really?
I heard it was 8.
Oh, is that it?
Oh, maybe it's 8. I thought I saw 4, but I could be completely wrong.
I'm glad we are talking about this on the podcast and have no idea. I tried to
It doesn't
record.
matter.
$9.99.
I set it to record, so when it's done, it's done.
Okay, because there's only 2 episodes that are in the immediate future.
That came out, yeah.
Yeah. It's 2. I know there's 2 that came out this past Sunday. There's going to be 2 more that come out next Sunday.
Well, Vic,
What's the name of the show?
The Last Dance.
That's right. I'm looking it up.
No, yeah, I actually got to see. I watched the first episode and watched about half of the second episode with kids and everything. It's always hard to watch stuff, but yeah, it's crazy. It brought back so many memories of me growing up, and I'm one of those people that I've always been a Lakers fan, but I also love. I'm also fans of players. It doesn't matter what team they're on. There's certain players that I really, really like, and Michael was one of those players. And obviously, I think a lot of people felt the same way with Michael. But I mean, when he burst on the scene,
really?
Yeah,
You had a following?
well, a lot of the young guys, a lot of the young people today don't realize how big of a star he was. And even in that first episode of the documentary, I don't think it really does justice. They do the best they can, but it doesn't really do justice how big he was. I mean, he was huge.
I think Michael Jackson would have seeked him out for an autograph.
Yeah,
that's how
exactly.
big he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's 10 episodes.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When,
This-
does it
this-
say when the next ones start airing?
They do. Yeah. So the first two were April 19th, and then April 26th. There's two more. May 3rd. There's two more, and then. Okay, you know what? They're doing two. So it's actually 5 nights, 10 episodes. The last one airs May 17th.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, man,
so
that's
Vic,
yes.
your takeaways from the episode before we cut you off?
Yeah, no, just like I was saying, they do a decent job of showing how big he was. But I mean, there's people on young people right now on Twitter and stuff who still are arguing that. Kobe this, LeBron that, and Michael transcended everything. Like there was very few people who did not like Michael Jordan. I mean, there was a lot of Kobe haters. There's a lot of LeBron haters. They might be bigger because China's now in the basketball scene, as far as the number of people that watch the sport, but. Worldwide, Michael Jordan. Everybody knew who Michael Jordan was, and he was just this bigger star than any other sport, even at that time, including soccer. I mean, there was people everywhere who knew who he was, and just the memories of him. Like I remember they were showing him in college, and he, as a freshman, he makes a game-winning shot, and that's like a famous shot. And I haven't seen it in a long, long time.
Oh, in North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, that shot as a freshman to win the national championship.
Didn't
I haven't
James
seen
Worthy pass it to him?
Yeah. And it's just it just brought me back to being a kid. I loved it. I thought it was great. The Scottie Pippen is the second episode, and I mean, I feel so bad for that guy because he was so damn good, and he's almost like an afterthought when it comes to Michael Jordan. And as Michael says in the documentary, he's not Michael without Scottie, and that's the God honest truth.
Yeah.
There was a documentary, and this was probably back in the 90s when Jordan was still playing. It was called Come Fly With Me.
I remember that.
And I remember having that on DVD when I was a kid, and it only chronicles his high school career, college career, and then the first couple of years of his NBA career. This was before he won the championship. And so my brother, Robbie, was a huge fan of Michael Jordan. I remember he wore that DVD out, like watched it every day. So one of the things that I'm looking forward to when I watch this is reliving some of those events because I haven't seen that in 20 years. And so I think to watch that again, it'll be nostalgic because it'll remind me of being in my younger years.
Totally.
And then being able to actually watch how he was able to win those 6 championships, how he gets over the hump beating both the Pistons and the Lakers in the same year in 91 to win the championship.
Yeah.
And then, the time away with I'm assuming they're going to talk about time away in baseball, the death of his father, how that impacted him. Those were a lot of things that, we hear in the news, but, I'm assuming they're going to be interviewing him in person and you're going to get firsthand, like how that impacted his life. So I think it's going to be extremely interesting to watch because, I mean, Michael Jordan, I'll be honest, haven't thought much about him in 10 years. I mean, he's been the owner of the Bobcats, but really the first time I've seen him speak was at Kobe's funeral.
Yeah.
And it was so authentic. It made me like him. I wasn't a huge Jordan fan, but it made me appreciate that, he's a guy like the rest of us, you know what? And if any one of you guys were to have died and I had to talk about it on camera or had to eulogize you, I would be crying, so it made him very human. And so I'm excited to watch this entire 10 episode extravaganza.
The most Ben thing ever. I wasn't a real Jordan fan. Of course he was.
You know
Because
why?
everyone else was. Because everyone else was.
I was a Lakers fan, and I appreciated his talent, but I wasn't a Jordan fan.
Yeah.
In fact, when the Pistons used to have the Jordan rules, I was like, yeah, that's why you don't come in the fucking lane, because your ass is going to get laid out.
Yep. There you go. Hey, Vic, going
Yes.
back to your comment on Scottie Pippen, and you said you felt bad for him because he's so good and he's kind of in Jordan's shadow. Let me ask you this. Is Pippen remembered more if he never played with Jordan and was the number one on another team? Or is he
Yes.
remembered more as the number two to Jordan?
I disagree, because he doesn't win a championship.
Well, you
when
disagree with
Jordan-
what?
Without, yeah.
I think
I was
that
asking a question.
He's a bigger name.
Which
well,
one?
he's a bigger name because he played with Jordan and won championships. I think if he played in the same era on a different team, he's like Charles Barkley, but he doesn't have Barkley's personality.
Yeah.
You know, think about Karl Malone, right? Karl Malone was the second highest scorer in NBA history. I guarantee you that kids growing up now who didn't see him play don't even know who he is. And I think that that's where Scottie Pippen would have ended up.
You know what? I
Vic, your
don't
thoughts?
think so, because I think he does win a championship. He was that good of a player that anywhere he went, he would have made that team that much better. You got to remember, defensively he was a monster.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was a fantastic defender. He had the ball handling skills of a guard and the eyes of a guard. The guy, he was basically Lamar Odom before Lamar Odom, and
Yes.
but better, a better version of Lamar Odom, and a harder worker. And he was fine, at the beginning to be in the behind Michael Jordan's shadow. I do think that he would have won a championship somewhere else, and I think he would have been remembered differently had he not been underneath Michael's shadow. Because he wasn't never looking to get above that shadow. You know what I mean? Like, he was fine being there.
Yeah. Well, see, and one of the reasons why I disagree is because he went to both the Trailblazers, who took the Lakers to 7 in the Western Conference Finals and wasn't able to get over the hump. And he also goes over to Houston, which I think the Houston was first, and he's with Clyde the Glide and with Charles Barkley, and those three guys couldn't win it. So I think he brought an element to a team that made the team better. But, the thing that LeBron gets criticized for, which is, if you need to score those points at the end of the game, Jordan was able to separate and be able to create a distance between him and the defender so he can get his shot off. I never saw Pippen as the guy that could break somebody off the dribble, but I do think that the reason why the Bulls were so dominant when they were together was because of his defense. When you think back to the 91 series, he guarded Magic, and he could guard a point guard, he could guard a power forward. I mean, he can guard 4 of the 5 positions, like you said, with Lamar Odom, and that made that team very special. So I don't think that without Pippen, that Jordan Bulls team wins 6 out of 6 championships. So I think he's integral in it. But I also think that he was not the type of player that could win it on his own the way Jordan could.
Yeah, but when he went to those teams, he was hurt and he was already old. So it wasn't the same Scottie Pippen that it was the first 10 years with the Bulls.
I'll give you that.
Oh, sounds like Vic won the argument. Good job, Vic.
They agree.
We should. How about this? Next week, we should talk about best 1-2 punches in NBA history.
All right.
Jordan, Pippen, Shaq, Kobe,
Magic Kareem.
All right.
Rank them.
Bird McHale,
Yeah,
Bird
Lamb-
I feel like
McHale.
that's a fun topic. Let's.
Lambeer, and Isaiah Thomas.
I love it.
Karl Malone and Gary Payton. Oh, wait a minute.
Yao
Sounds
Ming
like-
and Tracy McGrady.
Sounds like Ben and Vic are ready to go now.
I'm ready, dude.
Let's do it next week. I feel like that's a good topic for next week.
All right.
Lord knows
That'll
there's
give
going
us
to be
something to
nothing
talk
else
about.
to talk about. Yeah. All right. So prepare for that. You've been warned. Before we get out of here, well, actually, this is the bread and butter of this episode. Vic has a game for us, or a bracket for us.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Yeah.
explain, Mr. Costello?
Well, I want to give credit where credit is due. This bracket was actually put together by a good friend of mine and a listener of the show, Pedro. He is a music aficionado. I mean, this guy knows everything there is to know about music, and he loves like popular stuff to like stuff that you can only find in in the back alleys of record stores of bands you've never heard of. So he knows a lot. So I asked him to put together a kind of like a March Madness of the best like LA area bands. So we're going to include Orange County in that, and he kind of broke it down into different genres. And so today's top 16 in this bracket is going to be it's like a hard rock / heavy metal bracket of LA / Orange County bands.
Is Wait Out in there?
Not yet.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Wait, so this is going to be an ongoing thing?
This is an ongoing thing. This is week one.
Week one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
do we know of how many
of
weeks?
4 weeks. It'll be
4 weeks.
It'll be long. Yeah, it'll be 4 weeks to get these to their top
brackets out of the way.
Yeah, initial brackets out of the way, and then we'll keep going, and then we'll obviously mix in the other bands, and we'll get to our number one. So probably a year from now, we'll be at the number one.
Love it. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. We got to have these cliffhangers so people want to keep.
Yeah, and we're also going to put these online.
You got to have these gimmicks.
Yeah, we're going to put this online. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The listeners can also vote. And we'll see who comes out. So I'm going to go through these pretty quick. If you want to talk about it, two big bands, go for it. If it's like an obvious choice, and it's just like, okay, come on, like that band's going to win, then you guys make your choices, and I'm going to mark down here who you guys vote for. So number 16 in the hard rock heavy metal bracket is Rat.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys.
That's a deep dive.
They are going against the number one Guns N' Roses.
GNR.
Oh, geez.
See, it's going to be quick.
Man, really got to think about this one. That is.
We just submit our answers now on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that is Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses for sure.
So all of the votes.
In fact,
go
I'd
for
be
Guns
curious
N'
who else
on
is on
one.
the list because I feel like they're just hand them the thing. I didn't realize they're Southern California.
Yeah,
That's
LA,
awesome.
LA
Metallica's
band.
got to be up there too.
Yeah.
Total LA band. All right, so we'll move on to the next set of bands. Number 15, the LA Guns versus number 2, Motley Crue.
Oh,
that's like the first round, Motley Crue.
yeah.
All right, so
I've actually never even heard of the other one. So
honestly, to be honest with you, this was not a genre of music that I listened to very often. I know Motley Crue by name. I think that's where the band that Tommy Lee played for.
That's all that matters.
So
you vote however you want to vote.
I'm going to vote for him or them. Okay. But I couldn't tell you one song that Motley Crue sings.
If you heard them, you would recognize.
You would know it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, and I
Motley
haven't
Crue.
heard of that other band. LA what?
I haven't
LA
heard of
Guns.
the Rat either.
I haven't heard of
Yeah.
that.
Even I've heard of Rat. I've never heard of LA Guns.
I've heard of
but
Rat,
I've heard of.
not LA
Yeah.
Guns. I don't know that one.
All right, so next group of bands is number 14, Warrant, versus number 3, Metallica.
See, I like Cherry Pie, but you have to go Metallica
Of
because
course,
they've got.
Yeah.
You're going with Metallica.
I'm surprised
right.
Warrant is that low on that list. I'm curious who else.
Could you think of another song
ranked?
that Warrant sings?
Yeah,
The
I
answer is
guess
no.
you're
That's
right.
why they're
I
14.
guess you're right.
They have one song that everybody knows, which is why they're above Rat and L.A. Confidential.
Like confidential.
Confidential.
Oh man. No, and how is Metallica below Motley Crue? By the way, who
I did not
ranked
put
these?
this. I did not put this together.
Did
This is
Pedro
not your
put
list.
this together?
Yes,
Yeah, we need
Pedro
to fire
put this
Pedro.
together.
Pedro.
We need to have
And-
words with him.
And
Metallica below Motley Crue.
Well, the interesting thing about this is that in the quarterfinals, it's going to be Metallica against Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
I
And
feel like
so
early
that
prediction.
to me is that's a final. That's
I-
like a semifinal or a final.
I think it'll
don't-
be.
I don't
think
think
in
you
the
guys are giving enough-
semifinals, it'll be maybe Metallica. I think the finals will be either Metallica and Guns N' Roses, but NWA is going to be in there.
That's not a rock band.
no,
That's
well,
probably
today is only
another
rock.
week.
Yeah,
This is
Different
week's
genres
just
every week.
rock.
So-
we got different
Okay.
genres coming.
there's
Gotcha.
other LA area
see where
bands. You
we're
guys are
going.
gonna be like, they're from LA. All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
We got so many good ones coming.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. All right. So the next group of bands, and excuse me, I don't know who this band is, so I'm assuming it's NoFX. Is that right?
Oh
Does that
yeah,
sound
no
familiar?
effects. Yeah.
No FX.
NoFX.
Yeah.
NoFX. Right? Okay.
NoFX. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Versus number
pronounced
4, Van Halen.
Oh, Van Halen.
Van Halen.
All right.
That's a no-brainer for sure.
No-brainer.
Van Halen.
All right. Moving on. Number 12, Velvet Revolver.
Okay, that's Guns N'
Versus-
Roses.
Now we're
That's going to be interesting against Guns N' Roses because the only person different is Axl Rose.
Velvet Revolver versus number 5, Suicidal Tendencies.
Now it's getting closer.
All right, so
Yeah.
Ben gets a Velvet Revolver. All right.
Man, Suicidal Tendencies was kind of before my time getting into this type of music, so I'm not
Fair enough.
as
Yeah,
familiar
that's-
with them. Whereas Velvet Revolver, I know their music. I remember them. I mean, that was when Scott Weiland joined up with Slash and whoever else was involved. I liked them.
Velvet.
Jeff,
Revolver.
Velvet?
I feel like I'm going Velvet Revolver only because I can't speak educatedly on suicidal tendencies, but I'm
If
sure
that's
we're
how
gonna
you're
get some
voting, that's how
crap
you're voting.
for not that. You know what? Here's the thing: every bracket needs an upset, right? So this is the upset
It'll be
of
the
this
upset.
round. Is
Yeah.
Velvet Revolver?
All right, here we go. Number 11, Eagles of Death Metal
Oh.
versus System of a Down.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh man,
I don't know
Go
Eagles,
by
but
your
I know
favorite name.
System of a Down.
It's Eagles because it reminds
All right.
me of the Eagles.
All right.
I feel like I mean, I'm actually not a huge System of a Down fan. I'm
Okay.
familiar with their book of work.
Catalog.
But
Right.
yes, their catalog. But Eagles of Death Metal, they are legit. Like technically proficient. I mean, Google them and listen to some of their music. It might not be your music, but you can't argue their
You can appreciate it.
musicianship.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Eagles, Jeff?
Yep.
I'm
Another
going to go
upset.
opposite
That's
of
two
them.
upsets,
I'm going
right?
off for the opposite. I'm going to go for System of a Down.
System of a Down. All right. And, okay, so number 10, Audio Slave versus number 7, Tool.
Tool.
Oh, that's Tool. But I love Audio
Yeah.
Slave. Chris Cornell and what's his name from Rage Against the Machine teaming up. That was like a match made in heaven. I feel like they didn't quite deliver on how good they should have been.
Okay.
But man, they had some strong music come out, absolutely. But Tool, I mean, it's Tool. Gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Nickelback to show up.
Not LA. I think
Oh, that's true.
Can
That's
we
true.
blame Australia for them, or are they Canadian?
It's Canada. Canada.
I think they're one of those.
Darren?
Tool.
Tool? Ben?
Yep.
Tool.
Tool. I'm going to go Tool, too. All right. The final one in this bracket, in the hard rock heavy metal bracket, is number 9, Poison, versus number 8, Megadeth.
Okay. I'm going to go with Poison on that one.
Poison, Darren gets
Yeah.
a Poison.
And I'm shocked. These are the last two. There's no doubt in there.
Well, this is not
And
rock.
it's a different bracket.
I'm sure that'll
Okay.
be a different bracket. Yeah. There's
They better.
there's 3 more weeks, Darren. Come on.
Well, then I'm looking for Gangsta Rap Week.
You know, No Doubt will show up in the same week as Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I can't wait to vote them off because they're least favorite,
Jeff hates
most
Red Hot
overrated
Chili
band
Peppers.
of all time.
It's
Red
so
Hot Chili
funny.
Peppers. It's an unnatural hate.
Yet he
It's,
likes the Cranberries, so don't listen to his catalog of music.
They are the Toby to
Cranberries.
my Michael Scott. Is Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I don't get that reference yet. I still haven't
Not
seen
yet,
those videos.
but he has.
No,
he
but
he
you
will
will.
get it. Everybody is texting Ben, by the way, that he needs to watch The Office. Even
you really do. It's
NorCal
so
Cliff
good.
is
That's
texting
true.
him. How have you
it's
not
so
watched The
good.
Office? Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Arajo texted. He's like, "You need to watch these episodes," and actually, they
Oh, yeah.
corresponded with the ones that Jeff that mentioned. So
Yep.
Agreed, yeah.
I promise you that by next week, I'll have watched at least one episode.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to talk more about it.
And Poison, Vic.
Yeah, I'm
Poison?
going Poison too.
Poison.
Poison.
That girl is poison.
All right, that's it.
Wrong
Round
Poison.
1 is
Wrong
done.
Poison. That's Belle Biv DeVoe.
I know. I'm kidding.
They were in the Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon.
Yeah.
The Little Boy Blue and the Man on the Moon. Oh, they had a bunch of good ones.
Well
I'm trying
done,
to remember
Jeff.
what the other ones are, but
That's Guns N' Roses.
no, that was Poison. Guns N' Roses. Come on, that's not Guns N' Roses.
Well, Ben said this is not
Guns
really
N' Roses.
his genre.
to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
All right, I'm gonna have to look
gotta-
that up on YouTube and.
You
Send
got to
it
grab
you.
the mic when you do that, Jeff.
Nailed it.
Cats,
Yeah.
Cats in the Cradle, I could have sworn was Guns N' Roses.
No. Nope.
Did they do a remake of it?
No, Poison did the remake of it.
Mm-hmm.
So who did the original then?
Some old guy that ask your dad. ask any of ask a dad. Ask someone in the generation before us. They'll tell
I was like, dude, I hope my dad's listening and he kicks your ass the next time he sees you.
That's not
I
an
sure hope he
insult.
does.
That's not an insult. That's just saying it was
You just
the
called him
generation
old.
before us.
Well, you called him old. Talk
No,
to any
I
old
didn't.
guy.
I called him distinguished. He has
You know
great
what?
taste in music.
You look
because
older
it's
than
an
he
awesome
does because
song.
you got more gray hair.
That is true. That is true.
I wish we were in the
Shout out to
studio
Mr.
having this
Garcia.
argument.
I hope I have as full a head of hair as Mr. Garcia does at his age.
Yeah, I know I don't. In fact, this quarantine thing, I haven't been shaving, dude, and it's quite obvious that in the back it's not as full as it should be.
Turn around. Let's see the back, Ben.
No, let's not.
I love it. Oh, good stuff. That's karma, my friend.
I know.
Yeah. That's an inside joke that maybe we'll save for another. Why not? We'll tell it right now. In high school, Ben used to mock me for. I had a thing about my hair. I didn't like people touching my hair, and I had very touchable hair, but I just didn't like people touching it. And I know.
What does that mean?
And
Yeah, I don't know. Let him define that.
So Ben would tease me that my hair was falling out, and and that the back I was going bald. And this is in high school. And I mean, I'd play along with the joke and whatever, and go along with it. So one night, Ben sees a Rogaine commercial.
No. You were supposed to hang out with me that night.
Oh,
so
yeah,
Jeff was
yeah,
supposed
that's
to be
right.
out.
I was
And
supposed to have
he
hung
either-
out with the group.
He either didn't come out or he called and said, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to make it out." And it was that night that I saw a Rogaine commercial. It's like, if you want more information, just send us your phone number and your mailing address. And I was like, "Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen." So I put Jeff on the mailing list.
For years, I was receiving Rogaine ads. Probably my mom's house is still getting Rogaine ads for me. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And I still have a full head. And Benjamin.
Well, thanks to the
You know what?
Rogaine, right, Jeff?
It's a good thing that I look sexy with a bald head, because I do.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Bald is in. There's never been a better time to be bald, guys. Genuinely, you can bald. You just shave it. It's
What's funny is during this quarantine, I've only got 4 razors left, and I'm like, I don't need to shave because I'm not leaving the house. But the other day, I had to do a Skype meeting at work with video. And I was like, I at least got to trim up the beard because my beard was getting super nasty. So I clipped it, shaved the top ends and the bottom. You can see that the lines are pretty good now.
All right.
But I decided that I'm just going to let my hair grow until quarantine is over. And then the day before I go back to work, I'm going to shave it all off again.
There you go.
There
you
you
do
go.
the handlebar.
Yeah.
I'm actually full disclosure. I should show you my my hair. It's getting out of control. You can see all the gray. But I told my wife
There's a lot of that.
she can clip it. She's cutting it.
Oh,
She's
wow.
wanted to cut my hair forever. I'm going to let her do it.
You should.
I figure
Why
now's
not?
the time to do
Now's
it
a
because
perfect
we
time,
still
yeah.
got at
Perfect
least
time.
another month or two of this. So if she
Perfect
totally
time.
botches it, it's not like I'm
You'll go
going
back.
anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing is that when I was in college, I used to be on the swim team. I've mentioned it before on the show. A week before our biggest meet of the year, which was Big West Championships, everybody would shave down, and so you'd shave your head, shave your face, shave all your body hair, so that when you're the most aerodynamic in the water. But you figure if you're already going to shave it off, you may as well mess with it, right? So the whole week before, I'd go to school with handlebars, and then I would shave in male pattern baldness, where I would just shave the top of my head, and I'd have
Ben, do you
hair
have
all the
that
way
picture?
around. I do.
That picture, you know what? You need to share that picture next
Yeah,
week.
please share it
because
with the family.
That picture, I laughed hysterically, uncontrollably.
And
when
I would
you
go to
sent me
school
that
this
the
way for
first
a week.
time.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember I was wearing a baseball hat, and I had just left practice, and I was going to one of my electrical engineering classes. And, I'm sitting in the front row because I got there late and it was the only chair left. And I remember at one point my head started to itch. So I removed my hat and I was scratching my head, and I put my hat back on, and it totally distracted the professor. He stopped class and he looked at me and he was like, "Mr. Garcia, have you just completely given up on life?" I I said, no, Dr. Tend. And I said, I'm on the swim team. And I told him the story. And he was just laughing. And people in the class were laughing because, they've never seen anybody so stupid.
It's ridiculous.
I actually did it at work too. The first year I got hired at my company for Halloween, I dressed up as an old fat man, right? So I wore like size 52 pants, and I like put pillows and stuff, and I also shaved the male pattern baldness, and I wore glasses, and I walked through the office. Most people didn't even recognize me.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Wow, yeah.
It's a good costume. Oh, good times. Yeah, you got to share that picture next week for sure.
I will.
Anything else, gentlemen? I think we're out of here. We tried for 30 minutes. It came in at 45, but I feel like we earned it. As we always do, every single week. Hey, any of you guys like Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
He's great,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know who else likes Denzel Washington is Jason Gallo from the Definitive Five.
Oh.
We dedicated our first episode. The first episode we dedicated to an actor. We chose Denzel Washington movies. So if you want to find out the top 5 Denzel Washington movies, check out the Definitive 5 podcast. That'll be out this week.
Yeah. He's in the best Punisher movie ever, right?
Oh, Man on Fire?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's on the list. And
Yeah,
ranked
of course
very
it
high.
is.
Do you know?
love
can I
King
tell you
Kong
something?
ain't got nothing on me.
Let me ask you this. And this is a good tease, a good plug for the Definitive 5, because I went and looked at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, which are, I don't know if they're racist or what, but there are so many solid Denzel movies that are ranked massively lower than they should be. Man on Fire. What do you think is what do you think the ranking should be?
Out of
Percentage?
100%. So
It's
Rotten
percentage
Tomatoes
wise.
does a percentage. 100% is totally fresh.
89%.
89%. You think that's
Yeah,
about right, guys?
Yeah, I give about 85.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I was thinking 85.
so knowing what I said, that it's low, what do you think it is?
72.
53.
53.
61.
61. Let's go with Darren's. 53. That would be an abomination that Man on Fire would be ranked 53.
Yeah.
Right? It's lower. It's
Oh, wow.
39% on Rotten
What?
Tomatoes.
So 39% of people that watched it said they liked it?
No. Yes.
Yes. Only 39%.
I think that's how the voting is, right? Vic, do you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
39%.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
way
just dumb.
low.
Even
They don't like
even
John
Training
Creasy?
Day is only 72%. Training Day should be way higher than that.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
a classic.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I understand that one. I love that movie. But I think one of the knocks on it is that it didn't it was too long. Like, only movies like Titanic earn 3 hours. And to me, I feel like you could have cut a half hour out of that movie, could have kept the same movie trajectory, and I think it would have been a better movie.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
So that one I can understand, but Man on Fire, like that's
really
it's
low.
quintessential. In fact, I
Yeah,
just
it's
watched it
so
recently,
good.
about 2 or 3
Yeah,
months
it's really
ago.
good.
I hadn't seen it in years, and it was just as good now as it was
It
10,
holds up.
15 years ago when it came
it
up.
does.
Absolutely.
it's Denzel at his Denzeliest, and
Hey, I like that.
it's just so good because it's the best of both worlds. We love Denzel in Training Day when he's just this total, bad, like he plays that guy so good. But you want to root for him, and you get
Right.
both in Man on Fire. He's this total badass that's kind of rough around the edges, but then this little girl softens him up, and then he
Yeah.
gets to go full on King Kong badass
Yeah.
on. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
On the
I want to
bad
watch
dude.
it right now.
Yeah.
Let's end this.
It's a great movie. Honestly, Jeff, you won't be wasting your time.
No,
you will enjoy it.
I
Agreed.
love it. Oh, it's so good. So check out the Definitive 5. We always have a good time talking about movies over there. And check us out if you haven't done so already on Twitter and Instagram at Guys in Shorts Pod. Vic's going to be posting the first round of the SoCal band rankings.
Yes.
The brackets.
Yes.
So you'll be able to vote on those. Are we who's determining? Is we that determine, or do the listeners also contribute to the final bracket?
Everybody gets one vote.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Including the listeners. So it's not
Yeah.
just us.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
we didn't decide any winners here.
Nope.
Okay, perfect. All right. All the more
Well,
reason.
we
Go to
did if
Twitter.
all of us voted for the same person, because even the listeners who have one vote can't change the outcome. So we
The
have
listeners get
effectively.
one vote, or
swung the
or
votes.
the,
No, each listener gets a vote
Okay,
Oh, wow.
So we're just counted
Yeah.
as.
as a normal run-of-the-mill vote.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I don't like
Don't
this
you
game
dare
anymore.
call our listeners normal run of the mill. They are much more than that. They're valued.
If they've got
valued
through our last couple episodes, they deserve a vote.
They are true heroes.
That is solid. They deserve more than one vote. Hey, if you'd like to leave a voicemail for us, you got nothing better to do. Do it at 562-450-3356. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
And-
Do it in Cliff's voice.
Oh, yeah. Super down. Can you give us a taste of what that might sound like, Ben?
Hi, guys in shorts. This is Cliff from NorCal. I'm calling to tell you that I still hate the Lakers, and I like listening to the show. Thank you.
Okay, that's his excited voice. Can you do his depressed voice?
It literally sounds the same.
Yeah,
Down
it's
a
the same.
notch.
It's the same. You can't tell the difference. And I love that he still tries to defend. He's like, well, the kids were sleeping in the other room. I had to be quiet. Nope, that's how you sound all the time, Cliff. We love you, buddy.
We do, buddy. Thank you for listening.
Oh, man. Review us if you haven't done so. We certainly do appreciate those reviews. Subscribe wherever you listen. And as always, share the show with all your friends. Spread the word about Guys in Shorts. That's it, gentlemen. We're out of here for another week. I'm Jeff Wilson. That's Ben Garcia, Victor Costello, and Darren Besa. Stay safe out there. Good show, gentlemen.
Yeah. That was better than I thought it was going to be. That was a little better than last week. I had to listen to last week's episode in segments because I kept going, oh, this is terrible. I'm mad at you for even publishing it, Jeff.
It was
It's been
rough.
a little rough. It's been a
That was
little
the hour and a half one, right?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
didn't earn fucking 15 minutes of it.
rough. No, we did it. I could have cut some of
Oh,
the
turn
fat
off your
out.
mics.